Dear Blackmagic, on behalf of the community and myself, I want to thank you guys for making the Blackmagic Camera app. It's super exciting, and we can't wait to see how you further develop it with new features. We do have some feature requests, so basically this video is for you. I'm going to say a few things, but we're also going to pile down in the comments to give you an idea of what we're looking for as time goes by. So without further ado, let's get started. The first feature I would love to see is the ability to burn in the LUTs that we either purchase or create. That way we don't have to spend time applying the LUT after the fact and we can get editing right away. The second feature would be automatic A/B points, or just A/B points in general. But the automatic A/B point, what I'm talking about here is if we are racking focus on a product shot and we want to go from a background object to a foreground object, I think it would be cool if we could set the A/B points but then press play on the screen, and therefore it's going to slowly rack focus at whatever speed that we want. Therefore, we can get some really cool product shots without potentially shaking the camera. The third feature is custom white balance. It would be awesome if we could just hold a gray card or a white card somewhere and be able to capture a custom white balance. The fourth feature is from the community. We would love to see some custom presets for camera settings. That way, if we have 3 different setups, 3 different frame rates, instead of having to manually go into each setting and change it, we can just go to our custom presets and jump between 1, 2, maybe up to 3 modes. So that makes our life a little bit easier. The fifth feature is adjusting your scroll parameters a little bit for, say, white balance or ISO. Essentially, when I'm adjusting my ISO, let's say I want exactly 500. If I try to scroll to 500 and I let go, sometimes the skin just swipes the screen ever so slightly and I can't get exactly the ISO I want. So either adjust the parameters so that it's not too touchy, or maybe I can enter in the ISO manually, or maybe we'll have some presets on the side for 100, 200, 400, and so forth. The sixth feature is constant bitrate. While the variable bitrate has been doing a good job in terms of H.265 and Apple log, I think it would be awesome if we could have constant bitrate options just to make sure that we don't run into potential artifacting or banding. One step further would be awesome if you let us just type in exactly what constant bitrate we want. That would just serve everybody. The seventh feature is subject tracking or even face tracking, just to be able to tap on someone's face and that way the phone knows what to look for, even if something passes in front. I mean, for the most part, Apple's own algorithm does a pretty good job with autofocusing, but it would be nice for us to just say, just concentrate on this face, and that's it. The eighth feature is developing an app for the Apple Watch. So for people who don't know, the in-camera app and the Apple Watch can be linked together. So when I'm far away, I can frame myself up, hit the record button, and go. I think this would be awesome for people that are using Blackmagic. So if they're filming themselves and they do have an Apple Watch, they can control it and also make sure they're in frame. The ninth feature is the ability to adjust the left and right stereo gain independently. So for people who are trying to use either a Rode Wireless Pro or even just getting 2 audio channels into the camera, that they're able to adjust the gain independently. And that way when they go into editing, they're already starting off with a good slate. The 10th feature is having a joint venture with either DJI or Insta360. Both of them have smartphone gimbals. While they both have their own apps, they're not necessarily the full-featured ones we want, but they do have some features like tracking so that the camera and the gimbal will move together. I think if you have a joint venture with them and make sure your app is able to talk to the DJI's own system, I think that's just going to be amazing for a lot of people. Number 11 is to have some sort of integration with UVCs or just a USB camera of some sort. I think this would be very interesting that we can record everything from the USB camera into the Blackmagic Camera app. This could also be something for your micro lineup or maybe just other future small little cameras that we can plug into our iPhone. It'll talk to the Blackmagic Camera app. We can do a bunch of different perimeters, but that gives us a better camera system, or potentially just being able to put it somewhere, monitoring it over the phone and recording through the phone. Either way, it could be a very interesting idea, especially for live streamers. Number 12 is for my Android brothers and sisters out there that are waiting for this app. I understand developing for the Android is going to be a little bit difficult because different manufacturers, different chipsets, different camera software and hardware. I get it. But maybe you can start with the flagship phones from Google, Samsung, HTC, Sony that have really good cameras, really good lenses. Maybe start there first and then gradually make a more universal app that can work with just about any type of Android phone. Number 13 is for photographers, surprisingly. I've been getting a lot of comments that they wish they could use this app to take photos, probably because of the shutter speed, the ISO, and the access to Apple Log to basically get that nice flat image. That's my best guess. So while I know you guys aren't a photography company, I guess it could be interesting, and if it's easy on you guys, to just add a photo mode so people can snap pictures. Number 14 is kind of a pipe dream, but are you guys able to access the sensor so much that you could potentially get B-RAW to come into your app? I don't know, but if you are able to do that, either now or in the future, that's going to be something. Number 15 is a continuation of B-RAW, so would it be possible for you guys to develop the iPad version of DaVinci Resolve and port it over to the iPhone? I understand why you would want the iPad, nice large screen, but there are ways for us to work with larger screens with the iPhones, especially much easier now. So I think it'd be awesome for us to still be able to edit with the awesome DaVinci Resolve software through the iPhone. And lastly, number 16. Is there any way for you guys to get a hold of the depth mapping inside of the iPhone so that you could potentially make your own cinematic mode and at least allow us to get some sort of faux background blur and larger aperture lenses? My guess is Apple's probably not letting you do that, but if for some reason you do have access to this, I think it would be cool for us to actually be able to use a cinematic mode, but also control all the other parameters as well as using Apple Log. Okay, this is the actual last one, number 17. So I would love to see focus breathing compensation, because I don't know if you know this, but the Blackmagic Camera App, whether you have image stabilization on or off, is giving you a wider field of view than the in-camera app. So in theory, they should be able to crop in or do some sort of manual adjust crop so that when we are pulling focus, we no longer see any of that focus breathing. And that's pretty much all I can think of after the app's been through one update and it's only like 2.5 weeks old. So, community, go ahead and leave some comments down below. Give Blackmagic some ideas of what we're looking for. For me, always check the descriptions because I'm going to update them as they update the app, and I'll probably leave a little check mark after each feature so that you know what has been done. Other than that, Blackmagic, thank you so much. Good luck, and let's keep building this app to the best it can be.